This video will be explaining why I don't play these commanders anymore. Let's talk about that. Hey everyone, it's Triple Mango Threat or Ashley, and I don't play these commanders anymore because they're not fun to me. And let me explain why. Now, building Chatterfang was a lot of fun. If you love tokens, this is a perfect commander for you, but like every game was the same. You're trying to make as many tokens as possible, and then you make a lot of squirrels, and just let me get into it. So for example, we have a ton of ways to make tokens. So from the Beyond, at your upkeep you're making a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi, and if you have your commander out you're also making a squirrel. Mycoloth, similar situation, except if you sacrifice X amount of tokens or X amount of creatures that you control, you're then going to make twice as many Saprolines at your upkeep, and that means twice as many squirrels as well. Tendershoot Dryads, so at the beginning of each upkeep you make a Saproline, and then Saprolines get +2/+2 as long as you have the City's Blessing, which is very easy in a token deck. And again, you're making squirrels in addition to all of these, and it just goes on and on. But the thing I want to talk about is whenever it gets into the aristocrat style, so whenever a creature you control dies, you're actually going to make each player's creature die as well. They're going to have to sacrifice a creature. And whenever another creature dies, we're actually going to drain life from our opponents, and we get to gain life as well. Blood Artist. And then I also threw in Twilight Prophet. Now this might be a weird card, but since we easily get the City's Blessing, we're going to start being able to draw an extra card each turn, gain that life, and each opponent loses that much life. Since we have so many creatures, Beastmaster Ascension is a great way to make all of those creatures get +5/+5 if we attack with 7 or more. And we can do this at one time, so that way those 1/1 squirrels are now 6/6s in addition to all those other tokens that we have. Another one, since we have so many creatures, we can draw a lot of cards, because whenever our creatures deal combat damage, we're drawing so many cards with Toski. Now, some of you might be curious to why I have Kodama of the East Tree in here. Since we make so many tokens, they have 0 CMC, so we can drop a lot of lands from our hand onto the battlefield and ramp very quickly. And then I also threw in Opposition Agent. This doesn't have any theme with the deck, it's just a really good black card that you can flash in and really mess with your opponent. So you're probably thinking, okay, this is a great deck, it does a lot of great things, why don't you play this anymore? Like I said, it was a ton of fun to build, but it's just not enjoyable to play. Like I said, every game is the same. You're trying to make so many tokens, and after a while it just gets boring. This wasn't a bad deck, I just don't enjoy it anymore. Alright, so we talked about Chatterfang. Let's talk about Yurlok of Scorched Thrash. So this brings back Mana Burn. And Mana Burn is no longer a thing due to a rules change, and so when a player loses unspent mana, it causes them to lose that much life. And I can also tap Yurlok by paying 1, each player gains black, red, green. So I can make players lose 3 life if I wanted to, and that's assuming they do not spend that mana. So whenever a player taps a mountain, forest, or plains, they're actually going to gain an additional mana to that, and this is assuming they don't spend it, they're going to lose that much life. Dictate of Karametra. Whenever they tap a land, they're going to get 1 additional mana that land could produce. Whenever a player plays a spell, they're going to lose life a lot. I'm going to deal them 2. I'm going to deal them equal to the amount of the CMC they just cast. Or I can just cut their life totals in half, including mine. Whenever they tap a land, they're going to have to tap all of their lands, and whenever they attack with 1 creature, they have to attack with all of their creatures. What a lot of players don't like is whenever we mess with their lands, or whenever somebody taps their lands, I'm going to deal 1 damage to them. If their lands are untapped, I'm going to deal them damage as well, multiple times. Whenever a land comes into play, that player has to tap all of their lands. Whenever they tap a non-basic land, I'm dealing them 1 damage. If they have untapped lands, I'm going to make them sacrifice an untapped land. Whenever they activate an ability, I'm going to make them lose life. If our opponents somehow have a way to gain life, I can rearrange that, because now players cannot gain life anymore, and I can do this with many cards. And if I wasn't dealing them enough damage, I'm going to deal them twice as much, and I can even flash this in last minute. Whenever a player draws a card, they're going to lose 1 life, and I'm making each player draw an additional card. So as you can see, these decks can be not so fun. Don't get me wrong, they're very powerful, but after you've played them 2 or 3 games, you get the idea. Nobody else is having fun with these decks, and especially me. If I'm not having fun, I do not want to continue to play these decks, and besides, they have great cards in them, so I can always take those out and add those to other decks I actually want to build and I will have fun with. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can hit that like button, and let me know in the comments down below if you actually really enjoy these decks. Thank you to the patrons who help support this channel. Your support means a lot to me. So again, thank you. If you want, you can subscribe for more Mango content, and I'll see you all in the next one.